Hello everybody and welcome back. Welcome along to the finals of the Shadows Trophy created by the fantastic team at VIRPIL Controls. I'm your host with the most, 104th Maverick, and I'll be guiding you through the next few hours as we watch some of the top helicopter pilots in the DCS World take on the finals of the Shadows Trophy course for a share of some juicy prizes from a pool of over €8,000. Now, as you guys know, the Shadows Trophy 2022 is organised by VIRPIL Controls, the community servers team, with the support of VIRPIL Controls, Eagle Dynamics, Smile Pilots Club for the DCS World helicopter pilots from all over the world. Now, for many pilots, myself included, the name of the tournament carries a deep meaning. This tournament is dedicated to our friend Pavel Kuzin, aka Shadow Osa, who passed away just over a year ago. He came up with the idea for this racetrack event in itself, therefore the tournament is named after him, the Shadows Trophy, and it is a great honour for myself and the rest of the team to be involved in bringing this competition to you at this time of year. What a beautiful tribute video there to our friend Shadow, gone but not forgotten. We miss you, sir, and we hold this tournament in your memory, my friend. All right, as we say, this is the finals, guys. We have the top 8 from each group, Group A, B, and C. We have the top 8 pilots coming through from the qualifying rounds, which are last week, and we are going to have from Group A, we're going to have Witty, Leha, JSAV, Tossix the P, BSD Randy, Freejack 317, Yol Danny, and Grachi. And those are the top 8 from Group A. Representing Group B is going to be Krapinski, Jake 11, Wolf 13 Boucher, FC Pappy, Lino DRZ, Nerverve, it's, I really struggle with this guy's name. It's Gel Beverizin. Hopefully I've said that right this time. And finally, FC France from the United States. All right, and finally for Group C, our last group for this evening, the top 8 from last week. Python11, which is my main man Kid from South Korea. Randy, Tossix the P, Bama from the 142nd Bulldogs, Huey, LF Jano, TCW Rixke, and Saber1 Free Ulmar. And I believe, guys, we are already getting the show on the road with Witty is in the air right now. Taking to the skies, Witty, the fastest pilot from Group A in the qualifiers and in the semi-finals last week. So he's taken to the skies again in the K50, just about to get his run started. Let's see how he gets on. So this is what we've seen very consistently from last week. Pilot taking a bit of an altitude cut and accelerating downhill. But it was achieved ground speed 182 knots, 182 knots for the start gate. Absolutely beautiful decision made for gate 2 and 3. Still keeping it well over around 40 knots 5. Getting that nice cadence down. Doesn't want to waste too much energy to move through the aircraft. Basically wants to put as much potential energy into going forward as possible. And now he's past the slalom section at the start of the course. Starting to slow down that race. Alright guys, just working with the volume, so should be able to hear me now, fingers crossed. I was just saying that Witty was the fastest time setter for last week, so the pressure is really on him. So far it's an absolutely blistering run for his first attempt. He's coming up for the final turn now. Let's see if he can thread the needle. Launch it in nice and early, keeps the aircraft nice and low, not taking too much energy. So far from the K50, fantastic. Okay, Leha taken to the skies next in the K50. This was another fast runner from last week. This guy finished in second place on the semi-final qualifiers that we watched last weekend. Very strong pilot. Hails from out in the east. I think the guy was taking part in the competition last year as well. I recognise the name. So, very familiar pilot with this aircraft. Masterful control showed last weekend. Just really chasing down Witty. Done a great job of that. Witty flying from Spain. So here we go. Leha taken to the skies. Try to chase down the Spaniard. Okay, here we go. Not as big of an altitude cut as Witty. Slower actually. 165 it goes through the first gate. Witty went through the first gate with 182 knots, so almost a full 20 knots behind Witty. But if he can just keep it slow, well, if he can keep the aircraft methodical, not slow, but if he can keep the turns nice and precise and methodical, he can save a lot of speed as he goes down the tighter slalom section of the course. As we get further down the runway, the distance between the oil derricks here becomes a lot more pronounced, and it makes it a lot easier for the pilots to maintain that ground speed and keep threading the needle as they head down towards the first left 180. And as you guys from last week can remember, we call this the turn of death, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Leha taking a nice early cut, nice altitude gain as it goes in there, transfers that altitude back into ground speed as he noses the aircraft down towards the runway. And now it's all just about ground speed and sheer pace at this point, looking to try and maximise the aircraft speed, getting it right up to the top end of VNE. And yeah, just trying to cut as many corners as he can. A little cheeky slip through the Ecodynamics inflatable cone. Definitely doesn't want to take too much of a tight tip on the steel derricks there. Needs to give that a respectable berth as he goes through. But so far so good. That is looking strong. I've got to say, I don't think it's going to be as fast as Whitty's first time that he set. That was the fastest time we've seen from any KA50 pilot in the competition. A 98-second run, almost unheard of here in the VIRPIL competition, guys. But let's see what Leha can do. Comes round the penultimate corner, threads the needle. Oh my. Oh wow, dude, that's a 96.0. 2 seconds faster. Where did he get all that time from? That is amazing. Well done, Leha. The fastest time we've ever seen. Yeah, the fastest time from last weekend was 99.4. That is fantastic flying by Leha. Well done. GSAV up next. Will GSAV take a big altitude cut? It looks like initially he might not have went for that, but he is mirroring Whitty's approach where he takes a bit more of an altitude cut, certainly than Leha did as well. Let's see how fast he makes it through gate 1. Leha went through with 165 on the dial. And Sav's going to be a bit faster, 178, 178 knots through gate 1. Nice and precise through 2 and 3. Good cadence. He's keeping that altitude crucially as well. He's not getting too low. That's maybe too close. That was too close, guys. He's going down. He is going down, ladies and gentlemen. Touching down. I'm afraid GSAV is on fire, ladies and gentlemen, and not in a good way. But I'm sure he'll turn it around for the second attempt and make sure he posts a good solid time. Tossic's the P next to the sky, heading up in the blackest of black sharks. That genuinely is a black shark helicopter, guys. Tossic's very strong runner. Had a good showing from him last weekend. He also qualified for, I believe it's Group C. Yeah, he qualified for Group A and Group C. Currently turning the wrong way at the moment. But he is a highly trained professional on this aircraft, guys. I'm sure he's going to work that out. Not sure what he's going. He may have some control problems. No, he's okay. He's rolling back out. I thought maybe his side click was stuck or something like that. But he's okay. He's worked it out. Setting it up on a medium altitude cut here. Let's see how fast he goes through gate 1. Okay, sets up so he doesn't have to make too much of a turn. He needs to be careful how close he gets there. That is right on the edge. Goes through with 182 knots. So a very fast start. That maybe puts him on the back seat. He's just getting a little bit behind the aircraft, but this recovery is great. Getting very close to gate number 5, but manages to make it around without shedding off any parts of his aircraft, and crucially maintains a very good ground speed. This is a great start for Tossic's. He's letting the altitude get a little bit lower on the aircraft now as he transfers that potential energy from altitude into ground speed as he heads down towards the dreaded turn of doom. Takes a nice right hand cut, sets up the turn nice and early, goes for the overbank as he goes around nice and close to that inside post. We like that. He's let the speed get a little bit too slow. He's taken a bit too much of a bite out of that turn there. He let the speed get down below 100 knots. That really costs these KA-50 pilots. The aircraft does accelerate quite well, but what we've seen from the fastest pilots so far in these competitions is they keep their speed above 100 knots through the turn of doom. And unfortunately, Tossic's got down as slow as 94 knots, which is only about 6 or 7 below some of the fastest guys, but we really need these little milliseconds, these little gains as much as we can, and I'm afraid that's probably going to cost him a little bit as he heads towards the penultimate corner. But let's see what he can do heading through the final 180. Doesn't take too much of a bite out, keeps the speed nice and high through the last gate. A 97.9, ladies and gentlemen. That is a fantastic time. It's not quite the fastest time we've seen so far, but it's very close. Alright, we have our next group that I've loaded in. Next up we're going to have BSD Randy taken to the skies in the next group of 4, heading out in the Santa Claus Black Shark. This is nice to see, guys. It has lots of lovely stars on the back, and it has Santa Claus on the front getting pulled by some very fast looking horses on his sleigh. So let's hope that Santa Claus can lean on a little bit for Randy and can get those horses to hit into top gear and see if they can make the difference for BSD Randy as he takes to the skies. Alright, decent altitude cut, heading downhill. Looks like he's going to be north of 170 knots, maybe even faster than 180 knots as he goes through gate 1. And he is indeed 188 knots through gate 1. That's very, very fast. He's going to have to be very precise with these turns here. The aircraft's getting away from him a little bit, but he's doing a great job making those in-close corrections. He's getting a little bit out of sync here, but the course comes to him as he gets further down the runway. The distance between the oil derricks increases, so he's managing to stay on top of that. This is a brilliant start for Randy. One of the fastest starts we've seen so far. See that he's traded all his altitude and he's down right at ground level now. Trading all that altitude in for speed. Takes a nice right cut towards the first turn of doom. Sets it up nice and early, goes for the overbank, hugs that inside pylon, that's beautiful. The speed's a little bit slow though. He got down to 94 knots, but it's a good recovery. By the time we get back down, we're doing 140 knots right now. So, yeah, not the fastest time we've seen going through gate 14, but a very good recovery, very respectable pace so far. Heading to the penultimate gate. This is a good time for Randy. This is a good showing. Just needs to thread the needle here one more time. Keep the speed as fast as he can. And then slip it on through. 3, 2, 1. Oh wow, great time. 97.7 for the second fastest time of the session. That is great flying, Randy. Next up is going to be Free Jack 317. Free Jack taken to the sky in the very chic red and white KA-50. Looking good. Free Jack, probably feeling very nervous, as I'm sure all the pilots are at this point, just as they head towards gate 1, but he needs to keep those nerves in check. He's got the skills to pay the bills. He's came this far. Let's see what he's got for his first run. Goes through gate number 1 with 170 knots, 170 through the first gate. Good cadence around 1 and 2. Aircraft's getting a little bit in front of him. He's going to have to recover this as he goes around gate number 5. He's getting a little bit out of sync. He's going to pay the price for that. That's a big speed penalty there. He hasn't crashed the aircraft, which is good. He's still got all to play for as he heads down range, but he'll know it, guys. He'll know sitting up front in the cockpit that unfortunately that error is going to have cost him a lot of time. He's going to be chasing his tail all the way down, but it's not over till it's over, ladies and gentlemen. He needs to just forget about that, put it behind him, and focus on the course ahead and be as fast as he can. Around the turn of doom, good entry. Keeps the aircraft nice and fast, and that's beautiful. Keep the slowest they got there was 104 knots. So you see what I mean, guys, that the fastest people around this corner are keeping the aircraft speed well above 100 knots. If you let it get below that, it really penalises you as you enter this back straight, because it takes longer to get to the top speed. And if you really make a meal of it on the first turn there, then you don't even get the aircraft up to the top speed at all. So very, very crucial corner. Around turn 18, fade to 7.2. Nice setup for the penultimate entry here, and he goes. Beautiful nose control as goes through there, very stable, and it's 100.3. So unfortunately that is the slowest time that we've had so far, and I'm afraid that is going to come from the aircraft just getting away from him a little bit towards the start of the slalom, where he just got himself a little bit out of shape, and that cost him a lot of speed, unfortunately. Next up's going to be Yoel Danny in the Black Shark. Yoel Danny, our second Spaniard to be taking part in the Group A finalists. So some very, very fast helicopter pilots from Spain in this year's competition. Whitty is the fastest KA-50 Black Shark pilot so far on the entry anyway. I think he has been superseded at this point by Leha, but Whitty from Spain and Yoel Danny from Spain as well. Flew in the competition last year and had a good showing. I'm sure he'll be looking to do better this year and hopefully take home that prize. Here he comes with his entry. He is downhill, looking to put the nerves behind him and just think speed, speed, speed. Reasonably pedestrian, 168 knots through the first gate. Good entry around 2 and 3. Not letting the aircraft get too squirrely, nice and precise and controlled, letting the altitude come down. That's a little bit close to that pylon. He's lucky there. He needs to be careful here. He's getting very, very close to these pylons, but doing a great job. Maybe taking some paint off the rotor blades, but the aircraft certainly not departing with any of its control surfaces and managing to carry on. Oh no, just to say that I've cursed him. Down he goes, the flying Spaniard. That is not good, sir. Unfortunately, a bit of a rotor collision there. So unfortunately in the KA-50, guys, there is a real danger of pilots overstressing the rotor blades, and the blades actually collide with each other. And that happens when the pilot is demanding too much torque from the aircraft, too much power essentially from the rotor blades. The blades get too close to each other and end up colliding with each other like we've just seen there. We hate seeing that. These pilots, these KA-50 guys, that's their worst nightmare, especially if they're setting a good time and the speed is good. That's the last thing they want to happen. But unfortunately, We do see this happen in the finals when the pressure's on, guys. Let's see Grachi taken to the skies next and see if he can avoid a rotor strike. Okay, through the first gate with 165 knots. Interestingly, he's decided not to take the... Oh, yeah, it's gone wrong right from the start. Unfortunately, Grachi takes a little bit too much of a taste out of the second oil derrick and goes down. Yeah, I was going to say, guys, we see most pilots start from the right so that they make a minimal adjustment as they go around the first oil derrick. We've seen Grachi do almost the opposite there, where he started from the left, so he really had to have quite a pronounced left-hand turn around the first one, and that knocked him out of position a little bit for the turn on the second oil derrick, and I'm afraid he got too close to it and just took a little bit too much of a taste, and the oil derrick definitely bit back and yeah, took that run away from him, unfortunately. But I'm sure he'll learn his lesson and he'll come back stronger for the second one. Alright, my friends, as those of you that were watching the stream last week are aware, we run a competition not just for the pilots taking part today, but for you guys sitting watching the stream right now. You can actually get yourself a juicy little taste of a €600 prize fund for the viewers that are watching at home. So how this is going to work is we're going to ask you several questions throughout the stream, and then you submit your answers. What's also going to be on the go is some secret hidden numbers, guys, so you need to be paying attention. You need to have those trained professional pilot eyes watching the stream, because we're going to show you some hidden numbers as the stream goes on. Make sure you note down those numbers, my friends, because those numbers will correspond to one of the questions that we're going to ask you during the stream. Now, first place for this competition, guys, gets €250. Alright, €250, guys. It's no small change here. Second place gets €150. Third place gets €50. Fourth, fifth and sixth place all get €25 each, guys. So keep an eye out on the questions that are going to be coming up and for the hidden numbers as we go through the stream. Alright, let's see Witty go for it again. He's heading towards the fire, which is just extinguished, which is good. This is what I'm talking about, when he starts from the right hand side and it minimises the left hand turn around oil derrick number 2, and then he can get himself into his flow. This is a beautiful entry around 3 and 4. This is very controlled and looking nice. He's getting a little bit close to 5 there. That was probably a bit closer than he wanted to be. Aircraft getting almost got away from him just a little bit there, but some great corrections, and he's back up on top of it and now getting into that methodical, beautiful rhythm of just left and right, not expending too much energy on the control surfaces, trying to put all that energy into going forward as fast as he possibly can. Taking a nice right cut here for the turn of doom. The Kingmaker. Alright, around we go. Big bite from the start. Keeps the airspeed above 100 knots. That is checked. 106. 106 was the slowest they allowed the aircraft to get there. So this is going to be a good time for our friend Witty. He has that Spanish fire. Let's see what he can do at the back end of the course. Okay, the penultimate gate coming up. This is a good run by Witty. Gets nice and low, transfers all that potential from altitude into ground speed. Around it goes, pretty tight here, doesn't want to waste too much airspeed. Comes around and slips it on in there. That is a time of 97.0. So that is, at the moment, that's good enough for second place. So it looks like Leha has stolen a little bit of the fire from our good friend OWWE here and is currently sitting in fastest position. And it looks like at the moment OWWE has not been able to bring enough to the table to knock Leha off the top spot, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if anybody else has got the minerals. Next up is going to be, I believe it's our friend Leha takes to the skies for his second run. So this guy's setting an absolutely blistering pace at the start for his first run. Let's see if he can improve. At the moment, he doesn't need to. He is in first place right now. However, that's not to say that someone else that's going to be flying could potentially knock him off the top spot. So I'm sure he's going to be looking to try and improve. I think Leha's got the right idea, guys. He's got Santa Claus on the front of his helicopter. Surely that's what's making the difference. I mean, all I'm saying is that the guy that's flying the fastest has Santa Claus on the front of his helicopter. I know if I was taking part, I'd be changing skins so I had Santa Claus on the front of mine too. Alright, here we go. Doesn't really bother too much with a big altitude cut. Just wants to accelerate straight towards the gate and start wheeling and dealing. Goes through gate 1 reasonably pedestrian with 164 knots. So for Leha, it's not about brute aggression, it's about precision. He's doing well. He's a little bit out of shape already, guys, I'm going to be honest. This is he's not as tidy as he wanted to be here. Look how he's getting... Yeah, he's lost a lot of momentum, unfortunately. This is not going to beat his personal best, I don't think. No, he's already almost 1 second behind his personal best time, but he needs to not pay attention to that and just focus on trying to recover, looking at what's ahead of him and manoeuvring as best he can. Alright, nice and tight around the inside pylon. 107 knots was the slowest he got around the 180, so Leha's obviously practiced these big left 180 degree turns. It's something that he always does very well. Unfortunately, he just got a little bit out of sync at the start of the run. That threw off the momentum a little bit from the helicopter and cost him, at the moment, it's cost him about a second. He's actually almost 2 seconds behind his fastest time at the moment. So it doesn't look like he's going to improve his time, but this is still a very good showing. Nice and aggressive through the penultimate gate. Sets up good entry on the speed. And it's going to be a time of 98.0. Now that is a crazy fast time, but unfortunately it's only good enough for 5th position out of this session at the moment. So Leha will be disappointed with that, especially given how fast he was in his first run. He would have been looking to improve that time just for a bit of insurance. But unfortunately, this course a lot more difficult than it looks, guys, and Leha not able to improve on his first time. GSAV taken to the skies for the second run. Okay, more of an altitude cut than we've seen the previous pilot take. He's already faster. Leha went through with 164, GSAV goes through with 175, 175. Let's see if he can keep it precise. He's getting a little bit behind the aircraft. See how he's kind of making these really sharp adjustments there. That's all that's costing him time, but he's managed to make some great inputs here and just shallow out those movements, maintain that energy as it accelerates down towards the first left 180. Takes the right hand cut for the setup. Nice and low. Look how low he is, guys. That's some beautiful flying. Alright, around he goes for the nip and tuck. Sends it with the overbank. Look at the altitude again going through there. 103 is the slowest he was. 103 at the slowest point. But he did trade a lot of altitude there, which helps him to accelerate downhill again as he comes back towards the straightaway. And this is some great pace here by GSAV. This is going to be a good time. Look how low he's keeping the aircraft. Not wasting any energy in climbing or altitude, but keeping the aircraft nice and low. This is a beautiful run so far. Setting up for the right cut. Good fast entry with the overbank. Not pulling too hard. Has to unload a little bit. Maybe took a bit too much of a chunk out. Through he goes. It is a 98.02, guys, which is good enough for 5th in this session. Next up is going to be Tossix the P. Tossix representing back up again in the black shark. This guy's in with a great chance of making some prizes today. Has qualified for the finals in the K50 and in the Apache. Okay, here we go. The Italian Stallion takes the cut in from 2,000 feet. You see how he's offset to the right here to try and minimise how much he has to turn the aircraft to the left as he goes around the first pylon, or derrick number 2 I should say. Through the first gate with 185 knots, blistering time. He needs to be very precise here or he's going to get out of shape very quickly. He's doing a good job so far. If he can just make it around this one and the next one, he's home free. Just recover that speed, brother. You got it. Well done, dude. That is some fantastic hands and feet there, guys. As he maintains that high indicated airspeed, translates that potential energy that he has from the altitude down towards ground level, towards ground speed. And now it's all just about being smooth and methodical. Don't over torque those rotors, my friend. We want him to see you get... Oh no! Just as I said it, dude, I cursed him. Oh no! Oh no, guys. Down he goes. Just exactly as I said it. He over torques the rotor system and has a rotor collision. Alright, that was heartbreaking for our friend, but hey, I can assure you guys, this course is not as easy as it looks. I know it looks really easy. All you need to do is just fly around the obstacles and go as fast as you can, but it is not as easy as it looks, ladies and gentlemen. These pilots, some of the best helicopter pilots in the entire game, and the course biting back, not letting anybody come in for a free lunch here. If you want to win these prizes, you need to be super precise. You need to make good decisions and you need to keep calm and not get carried away. Okay, BSD Randy taken to the skies now in his Black Shark for his second run. This guy's got Santa Claus on the front. We all know that's a good sign. Let's see what him and good old Saint Nick can come with to the fight here. One of the bigger altitude cuts that we've seen here. Randy coming in from 2,300 feet. This is a bit of a sharp angle. I'd be getting nervous looking if I was Randy looking at this angle here. But Randy's a fully trained, another Italian stallion. So he knows what he's all about here. Don't get too close to that first one. Wow, that is super close to the first gate. But he's on top of it. Round he goes. He's getting a little bit out of shape already. This is going to cost him a little bit of time, but he can recover this. Some very great precise inputs there from Randy. This is fantastic flying to recover the aircraft from which was a reasonably bad situation. It wasn't terrible, but this is definitely not the fastest that he could have been down. He is faster than his personal best at the moment, having said that though. So Randy has a great opportunity to improve here. If he can just keep down. I'm going to say it, guys. I'm going to say it. If he can just not over-torque the aircraft and have a rotor collision, this looks like it's going to be a good round for him. Sets up the cut. Goes upstairs to bring that energy back down. He has got super duper slow there, ladies and gentlemen. He got as slow as 88 knots there. Was the slowest speed he got. That is too slow, unfortunately. And that is going to cost him, guys. That might even cost him as much as 1 second, that little mistake there. But we'll see as he heads down. What can he do? Through gate number 15, he is a 1/10 of a second down on his personal best. So he still can improve his time here, but I don't think he's going to set the fastest time in this round, unfortunately. Let's have a look and see how he gets on. The penultimate gate on the setup. Nice overbank to start with. Around he goes. Don't pull too hard. He's going to have to unload from that, and does unload. Makes the entry a little bit tight and goes through. Unfortunately, guys, it is a 97.7. I mean, that is blisteringly quick. That's the 4th fastest time that we've seen. But unfortunately for Randy, it is not good enough to make the top 3. But that is some outstanding flying, sir. Next up, it's going to be Free Jack 317. Free Jack with a nice long entry. Gives himself lots of time to get this sorted out. And we see what we're talking about earlier. We look how far to the right he starts entering the course form, just to minimise how much of a left turn he has to do. Taking a little bit off that first corner. Heads towards the first gate, doing 170 knots. 170 through gate 1. Bobbing and weaving through 2. Slipping and dipping around 3. This is a good start. He's a little bit down on his personal best. He's getting out of shape, guys. He's going to struggle to recover this around gate 6. But he does so. Unfortunately, this has cost him a lot of time, though. Alright, getting back into the methodical left-rights now. Just needs to not be greedy with the collective level. Don't ask for too much torque out the aircraft and have a rotor collision. Needs to put that little mistake earlier on just behind in his memory and forget about that. Focus on what's in front of him here. It's a great way to go around there, guys. 109 knots was the slowest he got the aircraft there. 109 knots. So, unfortunately, I think that he's cost himself a bit of time at the start, but this looks good. I think this could be a decent time here from Free Jack, maybe even his fastest. So far, he is up on his personal best by almost 2 seconds. In fact, yeah, almost 2 seconds up on his personal best. I think because he went around the turn of doom so well, he really has gained back a lot of the time that he lost during the start of the slalom. So let's see if he can do the same thing again here at the final turn. The Kingmaker, ladies and gentlemen. Nice tight entry. Lovely arc as he goes through there. That is a... Oh, dude. Ultimately, he cost himself too much time during the slaloms, guys. A 98.5. And that is good enough for the 9th fastest time in this session. Unlucky, Free Jack. That was some great turning down at the bottom of the course, though, sir. Yol Danny, the Spanish Fire, coming in now in his K50 for his second attempt. Let's see how he gets on. Very strong contender last year. Very strong contender last weekend as well. Let's see what Danny can do for his second and final attempt to hopefully get in the top 3 and win himself some good prizes. Lovely overbank entry over the shoulder there as he comes in and sets up for the cut. Looks like this is going to be a fast entry. 170 knots, 171, 172. Goes through with 173 through gate 1. Nice and precise around the first 3 gates. This is beautiful. This is a great start, guys. He is already up on his personal best. Just needs to keep that nose pointing down the way. We don't want to see the nose come up above the horizon, because that just translates into altitude. So we want that's it. Nice nose, nice and low, pointing towards the ground as he starts threading these needles, heading towards the turn of doom at the bottom of the runway here. Needs to minimise the amount that the aircraft is climbing and keep that nose decked as much as he can. Right, around gate number 11, sets up the right hand cut for 12. Heading towards gate 13, the turn of doom, ladies and gentlemen. Nice high altitude cut, keeps the speed on very well. 109 knots, 109 is the slowest that he got going through the turn of doom. This is some good speed entry into the back straight. Oh no, he's missed one gate. It came up that he's missed gate 15. That is not good. Oh no, guys, and he tries to make up for it by putting too much power through the rotor system, and down he goes. I am afraid that is it for Yol Danny. No me gustas. Unfortunately, that is going to be all she wrote for Danny. That is a shame to see. Such one of the best pilots we've had through the system, and was really hoping to see him improve on his personal best time, but it's not to be today, I'm afraid. Grachi taken to the skies for his final run in the red and white K50. Keeping it very low here. You see most pilots climbing and climbing and climbing at this point. Grachi taking things from a bit of a different angle. Not interested in any high altitude cuts here. And Grachi again takes it from a different angle. Most pilots we see offsetting to the right. Grachi actually offsets to the left. Now it does make that turn radius a little bit longer, but it's obviously working for him if he feels comfortable with it, so let's see what he can do. 164 knots through the first gate. Nice and controlled around 2 and 3. Getting a little bit behind the aircraft now as he goes around 5. That's going to cost him towards 6. And he's a little bit outside of the rhythm right now. Needs to just get that nose down and start getting forward as fast as he can. We're heading towards the easier part of the slalom course here. Approaching the turn of doom. Here we go. What's going to be the slowest he gets the aircraft down to? .94 is the slowest the aircraft got. So certainly not as quick as some previous pilots, but it's not horrific. It's not great, but it's not terrible. But yeah, it's going to put him a little bit behind the curve when it comes to the time it takes to reach the aircraft's top speed. But if he can just keep it together, thread these final obstacles, and get it through the last cone, he's going to be in good shape. Nice and low. Sets it up on the Kingmaker. The Legend-ifier. Oh, he's taken too much. He's had to unload there and get back through. Unfortunately, that is the slowest time that we've seen so far today, guys. A 101.9. And Gratchi's going to be very disappointed with that, I'm afraid. But good flying to get to this point, sir. It definitely wasn't easy to make it to the finals, and you can hold your head high that you came this far in the tournament. And hopefully we'll see you next year. Alright guys, let's talk about what everybody is here for, competing to win. So, the good people at VIRPIL Controls have contributed over 8,000 euros in prizes. You heard me right guys, not 800, 8,000 euros in prizes. So, whoever finishes in first place, now remember we have 3 groups here. So, the first place finisher from each group is going to win this prize set. First place is going to get a Mongoose T50 CM2 grip, the Mongoose T50 CM3 base with the VPC rotor TCS base, a KA50 collective grip, or a Hawk 60 collective grip. They get to choose whichever they want, and they also get the Ace Torque rudder pedals. Unbelievable first place prize this year, ladies and gentlemen. First place gets all of that. Second place in all 3 groups get the T50 CM2 grip, the CM3 base T50, the TCS base, and the KA50 collective grip or the Hawk grip. Again, those guys get to choose that. So whoever comes in second in the Group A and Group B and Group C all get to take that home with them. Third place in all 3 categories, whoever comes third gets to take home the VPC rotor TCS base with either the KA50 collective grip or the Hawk 60 collective grip. So some absolutely massive prizes up for grabs just for taking part in the air race itself. Now it's not easy, you're flying against some of the best pilots in DCS World, but yeah, it's definitely been worth putting in the time and the effort. I know a lot of these guys have been trying very hard to make sure that they finish in the top 3 to collect these prizes. So here we have the results up on screen, and we can see who's in what position so far. And I believe that it's our good friend Leha is going to be in the first place so far. We've not to see the groups B and Group C yet, but yeah, certainly the top 3 from the K50 group are going to be over the moon with the performance that they put in today, and they get to take home some absolutely fantastic swag cash prizes with regards to the controls that they're taking home. And it's going to be a very Merry Christmas in the Leha household, the Witty household, and the Randy household. Congratulations guys, I hope you enjoy your prizes. Alright, awesome. I believe we're going to hear from our champions, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along, guys. Congratulations to Leha, Witty, and Randy. You guys are our top 3. Absolutely amazing flying from all 3 pilots. Congratulations, guys. I hope you enjoy your prizes.
Thank you.
can I just ask each of the winners, what did you think was the most difficult part of the course? Leha, can you go first? What do you think was the most difficult part?
Okay, for me, the difficult part, I think, is the 3 or 4 pylons is very difficult.
So this is my Spaniard friend Witty talking. So you think the turns 3 and 4 are the most difficult, sir, yeah?
Yes, because first and 2 it's okay, but then the others 3 and 4 is closer and closer, and you have to bank a lot of and go down and don't break. For me, is the key of the race.
Nice. Yeah, you were the fastest pilot in the qualifications, Witty, and we've seen you take a bit of a different approach, where today it seemed that you went in very, very fast through gate number 1. Do you think that cost you some control, or do you think it wasn't a problem?
Since the update yesterday, the speedometer is not working good and it's not very reliable. And since yesterday, I don't know exactly what speed I am getting into the start. I try to make always the same, but I don't know exactly what is the speed. And in the second round, I know that I have to enter very fast because I was out of the third place. I try to make it better in the second round.
Yeah. Well, it was very close between first and second place, just over 1 second between you two guys. So great flying, Witty. That's a very well-earned second place, sir. We hope to see you next year.
Thank you.
Randy, could you give us a bit of an input as to what you thought was the most difficult part?
The most difficult part was the pressure for the race, because that year I was aiming for the first place. On the qualification, on the free practice, I placed a lot of good runs, but here, yeah, the pressure, is everything in the race. It went bad.
Yeah, but you came third place, sir, so you still got some good prizes, and if I'm not mistaken, you have a chance to still win in Group C. You qualified for the finals in the Apache as well, Randy, so there's still, that first place is still within reach.
Yeah, I don't think, as the Korean guy is pushing very a lot, hands down here.
Alright guys, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations again. I hope you enjoy your prizes, and we look forward to seeing you again next year. Congratulations.
Thank you, see ya.
Thank you, see ya.
Thanks.
Okay, my friends, thank you so much for your patience. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties, but we have sorted those out now. Welcome back. We are getting ready to send up the first group of pilots from Group B, which consisted of the SA342 Gazelle taking on the UH-1H Huey. Might not be much of a surprise to you guys to learn that no Huey pilots made it through to the finals, and all of Group B consists of the Gazelle pilots. So we're going to see some wheeling and dealing from the SA342 Gazelle pilots as they compete to finish in the top 3 and take home those juicy prizes. Krapinski was the fastest coming into the qualifiers in the semi-finals. Jake 1-1, not Jake, was right behind his tail in less than a second, so that's a big sheesh. And Boucher was sitting in 3rd place. The rest of the guys 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th still have a chance to win a prize. They just need to try and get that time up into the top 3 so they can take home some goodies. So how we run things here at the air races, we put the fastest pilot out first. So we're expecting Krapinski to go out first, followed by Jake, then Boucher, and then finally FC Pape brackets Brannan should be the 4th runner to go. As we mentioned earlier on, guys, we are running a competition for you viewers sitting watching at home where you can win yourself some cash prizes courtesy of VIRPIL Controls. We've been asking you guys to look out for some hidden numbers that have popped up during the stream. We've already had one number pop up, so hopefully you guys have written down that number and you got it memorized somewhere. But we have some stream questions coming up for you in the next couple of minutes as we go towards the finals for Group B. Alright, take it to the skies in outrageous fashion is Krapinski. The SA342 Gazelle, easily the most manoeuvrable helicopter we have in DCS. Some questions have been asked about the realism of its flight model, but these are not questions that we're going to get answered in today's competition, guys. But certainly a very nimble little helicopter, and yeah, the fastest helicopter around the course that was seen in this competition this year. And the competition is fierce for the top 3 Gazelle pilots. Krapinski representing the United States of America. He's hoping a US of A is through with A-class results as he heads into turn number 1, gate number 1 I should say. Doesn't really take a big high altitude cut, just runs at it about medium level, goes through with 187 knots through gate number 1. Nicely through 2 and 3, gets that overbanked round now for 4. Getting a little bit squirrely, but he's okay, he'll catch that. Very talented pilot, Krapinski. Set the fastest time in the qualifiers and the fastest time in the semi-finals, so he definitely has the skills to pay the bills. So far it's looking good. He's getting to the slow, methodical part of the course now where he just needs to focus on keeping the aircraft as smooth as he can and running forward at the best pace that he can get out of it. Setting up for the turn of doom here. Takes the right cut. Leaves the entry a little bit late. We've not seen this by too many pilots. Runs through at 170 knots, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you remember the K50, we were hoping that the K50 pilots could stay above 100 knots going through that turn. We've seen Krapinski go through at 170 knots, 170. That is outrageous. This is going to take some absolute skill to beat this time. But we've got some great pilots waiting for you in this group. But certainly Krapinski the man to beat. And it looks like unless something goes horribly wrong, he's going to comfortably finish in the top 3. And he's going to be taking home some VIRPIL goodies to share with Santa this year. Oh, as they back out right at the last minute there, but that's still a fast time. A 93.2, but a near disaster at the final turn, guys. Almost collided with the derrick, but some beautiful adjustments and managed to thread the needle. Next up is going to be young Jake. Jake 1-1, not Jake. Great DCS community pilot. He's been working really hard and practicing as much as he can. He's got a big job to do to beat that time by Krupinski. But yeah, Jake finished last week in the qualifiers very, very close behind Krupinski's time. So on paper, if anybody can do it, it's Jake. But let's see how he gets on. A much higher altitude cut than we've seen from Krupinski. Look how high Jake is. Obviously wanting to try and get some ground speed advantage as he goes through. Let's see how he gets on. The nerves are going to be massive. 191 knots through gate number 1. It's a great start for young Jake. Aircraft's getting squirrely, but he stays on top 8. Some good inputs here. Maintains a good speed, which is the most important part. Doesn't really have to look pretty as long as it's fast. Getting nice and close to all these pylons here. Just trying to minimise the distance around the course, even if it's only by a few inches. This is good so far. Tail's getting a little bit waggly. But he's making good adjustments here. That's going to cost him a little bit too wobbly around turn 12. He is slower than... Oh, in fact, he goes through... Yeah, he was a little bit slower than Krupinski, but still very fast. This could still be a good top qualifying time for young Jake here. And again, as long as nothing goes horribly wrong, Jake looking at a top 3 finish here today, ladies and gentlemen, in the finals. Let's bring it home in one piece, Jake. The penultimate gate took a big chunk out of that one. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. He doesn't want to do that on his second run. Wants to make that a bit smoother. Comes back through. Careful not to take too much of a bite here. Have to be careful with that. And through he goes. And it is a 94.1. It's not faster than Krupinski. It's good enough for second place so far. But Jake still has one more run to go. He did make some very small mistakes through that where he can make up some time. He just needs to put the nerves behind him, focus up, and get the job done. Our next pilot is going to be Wolf 1-3, Mr. Boucher from France. Allez la bleu! Let's see what the Frenchman can bring to the table. Oh, wow, just reading there. Young Boucher, only 13 years old. Well done, young man, to get through to the finals at such a young age. Let's see how he gets on. We wish him the best of luck. On you go, young man. Let's see how you do. $184 knots through gate 1. Bobbing and weaving very close to the first 3 gates there. Gets a little bit out of shape. Oh, he's lucky to get around gate 4 there. That was great flying. Great adjustments. Ah, that's too close. Sorry, guys, for shouting. I get too excited. Sorry, guys, but I'm afraid our French friend bit off too much that he could chew. Got far too close to gate number 5, and it is all over. FC Pappy taken to the skies now. Mr. Brannan, representing in his Gazelle, takes to the skies. Had a good showing last weekend. He finished in, yeah, 4th place last weekend, so definitely a title contender for the top 3 here for FC Pape. He can make this happen, representing even the United States of America. Let's see what he can bring to the table. Okay, the Papster with a medium altitude entry. That smoke is cleared in front of him. That shouldn't be serving as any more of a distraction. But here he goes. He's not as fast as Jake or Krupinski going through gate 1. 173 knots, but it's not about raw speed through gate 1. It's about the precision through the first 4 or 5 gates. And so far, that was close. So far, he's doing a good job. Getting nice and close to the first 5 gates. And then starts to smooth out now as the distance between the derricks becomes longer. Easier to thread the needle through. We're looking for that nice and easy left and right methodical motion. Spend as less energy in manoeuvring as possible and as much energy going forward. Pappy sets up on the right hand cut here for the turn of doom. It's quite a difficult turn. A little bit easier in the Gazelle though because it's so agile, manoeuvrable. Takes a very close bite in from the inside pylon. That's great pace through there. Fantastic entry onto the back straight. This is going to be a good time from Pappy. Possible top 3 material here. Okay, only a few turns left now. Just needs to stay focused. Not get himself too bogged down with nerves or any sort of negative feelings about this upcoming turn of champions here. The Kingmaker, the Legendifier. Oh, he's out of shape a little bit. Really wanted to maybe set this up earlier, but goes in, sends it full send anyway, and through she goes for a 95.9. It is 3rd place so far because young Oliver didn't finish, but is it good enough? Is it a good enough time for him to hold on to 3rd place? Only time will tell. Okay guys, for the viewer questions that we were talking about, here we have for our first question. What are the runway numbers at the VIRPIL Controls factory? Here we go, have a look at the possible answers guys. What runway numbers are at the VIRPIL Control factory? A little bit of a bone from you guys. Some of you might be sitting at home going, what? If you check out here's a little hint for you. If you check out the VIRPIL social medias, you might find the answer, guys. I'm not saying you definitely will, but here's a little hint. If you're not sure what the answer is, check out the VIRPIL social media channels, and you might just find out the answer. What are the runway numbers at the VIRPIL Controls factory? Good luck. Okay, Lino up next. Lino DRZ. Another young Frenchman. Got some great future prospects out in France and DCS helicopter pilots, guys. Young Lino, just 18 years old. Here we go. Let's see what you've got, young man. 185 knots through gate 1. Nicely controlled around 2 and 3. Getting a little bit out of shape around turn 4. It's a little scary. But he's going to claw it back here. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. Down he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody get me the violin. So, if it's gone wrong for both our young French friends, but I know they're going to do better. I mean, they got all the way to the finals. So those two young guys will definitely do better for their second run. Each pilot has 2 attempts to set a fast time. But unfortunately, Lino and young medium altitude cut so far, 1600 feet, still climbing slowly. Alright, here he goes. Very experienced pilot from Germany. Let's see what wisdom can bring to the table here. Through he goes, 180 knots through gate 1. Threads the needle on 2. Slipping and dipping around 3. Getting a little bit out of shape around 4, and that is curtains, ladies and gentlemen. We have had a main rotor collision on gate number 4, and unfortunately Nerv is just taking a little bit too much of a bite out of the course. And as we know, ladies and gentlemen, the course bites back, and Nerv is not going to be able to finish this run. Okay, let's keep things going with the questions for you guys watching at home. Question number 2. What was the helicopter model in the first Matrix? For all you helicopter and film fans out there. What was the helicopter model in the first Matrix? Question number 3, ladies and gentlemen. What was the heaviest payload weight of a helicopter in real world? What is the heaviest payload weight of a helicopter in the world, ladies and gentlemen? What helicopter can carry the heaviest payload? Okay, we have Krupinski in the air, just doing a little bit of an orbit at the moment. Possibly just waiting on the signal from the referees. But yeah, Krupinski, our fastest pilot so far, ready to get back in there and possibly improve on his time. I don't know if it's possible. His first time was so fast. Let's see what he can do. Enters the course after the big over-the-shoulder entry. He's going to go through with 188 knots. Wow, that is some pace to start the course with. Slipping and dipping. Ducking and diving. Bobbing and weaving. He's off to a great start so far. He is just a little bit behind his personal best. Just by a couple of milliseconds here. There's not much in it at all. He's getting fractionally slower. When I say fractionally, I literally mean a handful of milliseconds slower here. So he definitely can claw it back. He's getting a little bit wobbly. All these little wobbles are going to cost him just fractions of a second. But he can still claw it back and turn that frown upside down if he can get a good entry into the turn of death here. He took it beautifully well the first time around. That's a great entry. See how much speed he carries through. That is beautiful. He is... Oh, he's actually a little bit faster than his personal best, so he has managed to claw some time back, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. It is not over until it's over, my friends. Even though he was slower to start off with, he managed to regain some time. 4 milliseconds up on his personal best at the moment. Goes around gate 16. Still up on the personal best. Getting a little bit squirrely though. That'll cost him just a few fractions. He needs to not be too aggressive on this one. That's a beautiful entry round here. We like that. Right, here we go. We're wobbling and swobbling. The final turn, the Kingmaker. Here we go. Doesn't want to take it too tight like he did the first time. This is beautiful. That is fantastic. That is the fastest time so far, guys. He has improved for a 92.9. Absolutely incredible. It's going to be young Jake taken to the skies next. Let's see what you got, Jake. Alright, the Jake taken to the skies here for a second run. Second and final run. The nerves have got to be massive. I can totally relate. But yeah, time to just forget about the nerves, Jake, and just focus on the job in hand. Starts off with a good altitude cut. We're up at 1800 feet, heading downhill. Let's see what he can do. The airspeed's going to be well above 180 on the entry. It's 190 knots, 190, the fastest entry through gate 1 that we've seen. Can he keep it together? It's good around 3 and 4, get a little bit squirrely going around 4, but recovers for 5. Needs to just work that dials out. Nice one, he's got it, he's got it. He is well up on his, in fact he's down on his personal best unfortunately, but like we've seen from the last flight, guys, from Krapinski, you can still recover. Just needs to focus. First place still very much in reach for Jake here. Second place not going to be too shabby either. Around he goes. Needs to keep that main rotor off the ground. He's doing a great job so far. Takes the right cut. Good entry into the turn of doom. Oh my god, that was so close. That was the closest we've seen anybody come. Jake looking to get wins all over the course here. He is just a tiny bit down on his personal best. 0.4 of a second. But with an entry like that into the turn of doom, he really is setting himself up for the best possible advantage going down towards the end of the track here. Let's see it. Still 0.4 down on the personal best, but he can claw that back through the final corner. Coming up for the penultimate. Round we go, heading towards the penultimate gate now. Just needs to stay calm and focus. Stay calm and focus. Swings it in early. Doesn't take too much of a bite out. Unloads slightly to maintain the speed. And through he goes. Unfortunately it's not good enough to improve on his time. It's a 94.4. Still very, very great flying. Very respectable time set by Jake there. Krapinski, absolute machine. Too difficult to beat on today. It looks like the day is going to go to Krapinski, unless one of the remaining pilots can pull something magic out the bag. But a good effort from not Jake there. Some great flying. Alright, young Boucher taken to the sky now to try and redeem himself on his second run. Right, Boucher on the rundown over the far. Let's see him. He's 182 knots so far. goes through gate 1 with 180 through gate 1. Needs to be careful here, just needs to be precise. Don't worry about being too fast at this stage, he just needs to survive. He's passing his crash site from the last round. So he's doing better than he did last time already. This is good, this is methodical. This looks nice. It looks fast. Young Boucher here just needs to keep the nose of the helicopter pointing down towards the ground. Maximise that ground speed. So far so good. Alright, sets up for the right cut. This is good flying by the young Frenchman. Let's see how he gets on through the turn of doom. Takes a nice cut. That is beautifully quick. That is very quick. Oh no, it's went horribly wrong. It has went horribly wrong. We have departed the course. He needs to recover quickly. Get back over there, young man. It is not over till it's over. Alright. He has recovered. We were upside down for what felt like an eternity, but he managed to recover. Unfortunately, it's going to cost him quite a bit of time. And he is out of bounds, I'm afraid. He has left the track, and the referees have unfortunately had to take that time away from him because he left the start zone, the actual race zone. There is a boundary around the track, guys. Unfortunately, Monsieur Boucher is not going to be able to post a time in the finals, but congratulations, my friend. Well done for getting this far in the competition. Hopefully we'll see you again next year. FC Pape taken to the skies now, representing the United States of America for his final run. Let's see how he gets on. Right, here we go. Pape on the rundown. 175 knots. 176 through gate 1. This is close to 2. Shaves off the paint on 3. This is nice precision flying so far. Good at keeping the altitude, doing a good job with that. Bringing that altitude down to just increase the ground speed as he goes along. This is a great start by Pape. He is up on his personal best time at the moment by a 10. But this is a... Oh, I thought that was going to be a little bit too close, but he managed to work that out. Alright, just needs to keep the head now. Slow and methodical around these turns. Sets up the right cut for the turn of doom. Here we go. Doesn't want to be too greedy. Sets up the overbank very early. It's a very close cut on the inside of gate number 13. Rolls through gate 14 with a good set of ground speed over the rotors there as he heads down towards the back straight. All about ground speed now. Try and stop the aircraft from ballooning up in altitude and transferring any of that ground speed into altitude. Wants to avoid that. Keep that nose pointing down the way. Tight around gate 16. Uh-oh, little squirrely on the approach to 17. Still in it though. Just a little bit behind his personal best now. Can still improve if he nails this final turn though. Here he goes, sets it up, rolls it in. Doesn't want to pull too tight. He's pulled far too tight. He's going to have to unload. And then, yeah, great changes there. Great changes. 95.7, that is best for 5th place so far. And we're hanging upside down. Oh, wow. Some flight model questions need to be asked there. Okay, FC France taken to the skies now. Okay. Alright, FC Franz through with 161 knots, the slowest Gazelle we've seen through gate 1. Didn't really set himself up for a big run-up, but hey, I'm not going to judge him. He got... Oh no! Oh, that was close. That was close. I was just going to say, I'm not going to judge him. He got to the finals. So he obviously knows what he's doing. Wants to be as precise as possible. Alright. Still running down. A little bit slower than some of the other pilots that we've seen. Oh, but getting very close to these derricks. He's shaving off a lot of distance off the course. Around the turn of doom. In one piece is that's what all that matters here. Just needs to finish and be alive at the end. I don't think it's going to be good enough for first place, but let's see how he finishes. Alright, just one more to go, the Kingmaker. In he goes, throws it in. And finish for a time of 1:01.4. Unfortunately not going to be fast enough for the top 3. I believe he has still one more round to go to try and improve that time. And we have young Lino taken to the skies now for his second attempt. Unfortunately, he didn't make it home in one piece for the first attempt. Let's see if he can turn that frown upside down, ladies and gentlemen, and post a good solid time to get him through to the top 3 and take home some yummy, yummy VIRPIL prizes. Okay, young Leo on his run down here. Let's see what he's got. Just needs to make it through the first 5 gates in one piece and he's going to be in good shape. 184 knots through gate number 1. Number 2, no problem. Number 3, a little squirrely for 4, but he recovers very well. That's great flying through 4. Around 5, getting a little squirrely, getting out of shape just a little bit, but manages to regain the composure and recover. Now he just needs to put that little squiggle behind him and focus on what's coming up front. It's another little squiggly bit. He's all over. He is dancing on the pedals like Michael Flatley. Extra points if you get that reference, guys. Alright, he's still dancing around here. Just needs to smooth it out and think fast, fast, fast. Nice methodical left and rights as we head down towards the first 180. The turn of doom sets up the cut. Wow, very close to the inside pylon there as he goes through with some great airspeed. Aircraft didn't get slower than 170 knots. Whoa, that's not a brief, ladies and gentlemen. That was not briefed. We have taken an unscheduled departure, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to do it. Unfortunately, Lino is out of the race. He gave up there. Didn't go out of bounds, but realised that that unscheduled departure was not going to mean that he was going to finish in the top 3, possibly even in the top 6. Alright, let's get back to the questions, guys. So question number 4 that we're looking for. Which of the listed helicopters is of the synchrocopter type? Which of the listed helicopters is of the synchrocopter type? believe that might have even been pronounced Syncropter. I'm not sure. You'll have to get back to me. All right, the next question, guys. Why would a helicopter fly while... Sorry. Why would a helicopter fly whilst hoisting a circular saw? Shout out to any of you... Oh, I can't say that. That'll give the answer away. Why would a helicopter fly while hoisting a circular saw? Back to the air action now with Nerve Erv, who unfortunately didn't make it back in one piece on his first run, so this is his final attempt at posting a good solid time to get himself into the top 3 and take home some juicy VIRPIL goodness. Alright, Nerve on the rundown for the fun down. Here we go, through gate 1 with 176 knots, nice and controlled. 2's no problem, 3's a little close, he gets out of sync a little bit for 4, but that's a beautiful recovery on the pedals. And we're out of sync for 5 though, needs to just rein it back in, get on that centre line, heavy on the overbank there. He must be a nervous wreck up in that cockpit there. He's getting a little bit squirrely. This is costing him lots of time, guys. Just needs to take a deep breath, recenter those controls, and get wheeling and dealing. Okay, on the setup for the turn of death. Here we go. The turn of doom. Rolls in. Pulls. Not as fast as the other pilots that we've seen, but still very good. Very precise, but just a little bit slow. Let's see how he does on the back straight. A little bit too much over controlling from Nerve here. Just needs to relax. It's all about smooth, methodical inputs at this point of the course. Alright, just one more turn to go, sir. Let's see if he can get through to that mythical top 3. Round he goes. He's a little bit tight. This is going to cost him some time, guys. In he goes. It's a 100.8. Unfortunately not good enough for the top 3, Nerve Erv. But thank you so much for taking part, sir. Well done to get this far in the competition. We look forward to seeing you next year, my friend. I hope you have a great Christmas and New Year. Okay, FC Franz taken to the skies for his second and final round. Alrighty then. Nice big altitude cut from Franz to set up. Runs through much faster than he did the last time, which is good. 173 through gate 1. Bobs and weaves through 2, gets a little bit out of shape. Oh no, bro! Oh, he almost saved it, but he is sort of down, guys. We're working on it. It's a slow arrival here. Unlucky. SC Franz. That's sad to see, sir. I am sorry, brother. But that is going to be it. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and New Year, sir, with your friends and family. We'll see you next year in a VIRPIL Air Race. All right, my friends, the last question that we have for you today. Who can get it? Which airport corresponds to the runway length according to the summary of the numbers that appeared in the stream? So remember, we've been showing you hidden numbers as the stream goes on. Now those numbers add up to the answer basically here, okay? Which airport corresponds to the runway length according to a summary of the numbers appearing in the stream? So the hidden numbers that have came up on stream, add those together. What's the answer, guys, that we're looking for? What is the runway length of those numbers? Right, let's have a look at the results for the top 3, ladies and gentlemen, of Group B. And it's a massive congratulations to my friend Krupinski. I don't think there was any doubt the level of skill this guy came in with. Fastest in qualifying, fastest in the semi-finals, and fastest in the finals as well. And massive congratulations, sir. I hope you enjoy those VIRPIL goodies, and it's a great Christmas at the Krupinski house and a prosperous and safe new year, my brother. Yeah, enjoy them, dude. Enjoy them. I've got the similar setup, and I know you're going to really like it. Congratulations to Jake for coming in second place, Jake. I know you were hunting down that win, my friend, but Jake, there is nothing wrong with second place, brother. Some fantastic prizes going home with Jake. It's going to be a great Christmas in the Jake household. Congratulations on a solid flight. Unfortunately, Krupinski just a little bit too strong this year, but I know you're going to be back in swinging for the finals next year. So congratulations to Jake for the second place, taking home those VIRPIL goodies. And finally, FC Pappy coming home in third place, scoops himself some VIRPIL goodness. I hope again, sir, it's going to be a great Christmas for you and your family and your friends, and a prosperous new year. Congratulations to our top 3, Krupinski, Jake, and FC Pappy. Well done, guys. And it looks like we're going to be joined by the champs themselves as well. Welcome along, gentlemen. Well flown, first of all, to the 3 of you. You have some great helicopter skills out there. Krupinski, got to ask you, my friend, you were so solid throughout the whole competition. What do you think was the most challenging point of the course?
Definitely that first 180. You know, you got to get that one consistent because it's really easy to lose speed on that one. But if you get it just right, you know, you come out at 180 or whatever it was doing.
Yeah, we've been calling that the turn of doom. It really is. It can make and break people's fortunes here. And you did a great job. It seemed like the early setup for you, taking that right cut and then getting the aircraft set up, you were very, very close to the inside pylon running through and managing to maintain a very high indicated airspeed going round the whole corner. And I think that really paid off massively for you. Congratulations again, Krupinski. You win the #1 position and get to take home a massive set of VIRPIL goodies. I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for doing this whole event and everything. It's pretty cool.
You're welcome, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you next year.
Yep.
All right, we got Jake 1-1, not Jake, coming in a solid second place. Gets to take home some great VIRPIL goodies. He gets the CM2 grip, the base, the rotor base, as well as a K50 collective grip or a Hawk collective grip. Jake, it's not the first place that I know you were looking for, but I think we have to admit Krupinski was just a little bit too strong today. What was your most challenging part of the course?
I'd have to say the first probably 3 gates when the Gazelle's having to enter in at like 190 knots, so just getting around those turns and not going into a retreating blade stall. I think that was the most difficult part for me.
Nice. How did you get on at the turn of doom? How did you find that? We've seen you get very, very close to the inside pylon. Was that getting a little bit scary, or was it all under control?
I had it under control for the most part. It's just on that exit on the first 180 where you really have to control the Gazelle and add that left cyclic.
Nice. All right, brother. Congratulations again. We're looking forward to seeing you next year. I hope you enjoy your prizes when they arrive.
Thank you.
And finally, we have FC Pappy, who came in a solid third place today, takes home the VPC Rotor TCS base and either the KA50 collective grip or the Hawk collective grip, whichever one was his choice. So, solid flying by you the whole tournament, Pappy. I hope you're happy with third place. Second and third place, first place, just a little bit out of reach, but I'm sure we're going to see you next year, sir. What was the most difficult part of the track for you?
I think I really think Jake is right that the early part of the slalom is the most challenging to keep your energy, but more specifically, Kopinski just is amazing and fast and flies both the helicopters and also World War II amazing. Jake's put in a ton of work, and I think the best part of this was doing it with my teammates Franz and Earhart. But the course is really well built, and the team, VIRPIL and everyone put together an amazing event. So we really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having the three of you with us, guys. We, from the whole team, myself included, in VIRPIL Controls, we wish you a very happy Christmas, a safe New Year, and we look forward to seeing you for next year's competition. Enjoy your presents, guys. Take care.
Thanks.
All right, stream, we'll go to commercial now. I will see you very soon. Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for your patience. We are just getting the last group finalized and ready for the Group Charlie final. So while we're doing that, we're going to get the questions back up for you guys for the stream competition. So the first question that we asked you that we're looking for an answer for is, what are the runway numbers at the VIRPIL Controls factory? And those of you that have been doing some good online research may have spotted a clue. Next question is, what was the helicopter model in the first Matrix film? What was the helicopter model in the first Matrix? Third question, I beg your pardon. What is the heaviest payload weight helicopter in the world? Which helicopter in real life can carry the heaviest payload? Question number 4. Which of the listed helicopters is a Synchoraptor? I'll never pronounce that word right. Which of the listed helicopters is of the Synchoraptor type? That might be the right pronunciation. I don't know, guys. You may get an extra point if you can pronounce it. Question number 5. Why would a helicopter fly whilst hoisting a circular saw? And the final question that we're looking for the answer for, guys. Which airport corresponds to the runway length according to the summary of the numbers appearing in the stream? So we've been showing you some hidden numbers as we've been doing the stream, guys. If you add those hidden numbers up, it gives you a total. That total is the answer that we're looking for. Which airport's runway length corresponds to the total of the hidden numbers that we've given you in the stream? Good luck, everybody. Alright guys, we have Group Charlie up now for the finals to see who's going to take home the last set of prizes. In first place from last weekend was my main man Kid, representing South Korea, followed very closely by BSD Randy, Tossix the P, both guys representing Italy. So we've got 2 Italian stallions in the finals here. Bama from the United States of America representing 142nd Bulldogs. IRIAA Huey from Germany. LF Giano from Spain. We also have TCW Rixty and Saber 13 Ulmar rounding out the top 8. It's going to be a close competition, guys. All pilots flying the AH-64D Apache. Let's see how they get on. Just a quick reminder for you guys watching at home to hit the subscribe button on the VIRPIL Controls YouTube channel to stay tuned with future video releases from VIRPIL, but also to stay tuned for announcements for the competition that comes up next year. And hit that like button if you're enjoying the show, guys. First up, we have Python11, aka Kid, representing South Korea. Very talented pilot. You can find him on Twitch most days. He is a Twitch partner, streams very regularly. Fantastically talented young man, and he is our fastest pace setter so far in the AH-64 Apache. Let's see what he can bring to the table. Alright, Kid with a very high altitude start. Look at the angle that he's coming in from here. He's going to be downhill very, very quickly at this rate. We did have an update for the Apache yesterday in DCS, which makes the SAS, the stability augmentation system, a little bit easier to fly with. So hopefully that's going to help Kid out. But here he goes, through gate number 1 with 164 knots. Around 2. Banking for free. Needs to be careful with that main rotor. Doesn't have as much forgiveness as the Gazelle does. But so far a great start from Kid. Nice and methodical. Great start from Kid. He's very low. He's scraping the wheels off the ground. Absolute gangster style here. Needs to be careful with touching that main rotor off the ground though, because he's so low. Needs to be very precise with the angle that he banks the helicopter at, in case he has a rotor strike off the ground. Alright, setting up for the turn of doom here. The hardest turn on the course. Around he goes, nice and tight on the inside pylon there. Keeps the airspeed above 100 knots. The slowest he got actually was 100 knots, 100. So it's a great start for Kid. Let's see how he gets on in the back section. Look how low he is. Look how close the wheels are to the ground here. Not wanting to waste any energy on altitude. Wanting to put it all into his forward momentum. Doing a great job. Gate 17 with 90.7 seconds, so just shows you how much slower the Apache is. The Gazelles were finished the course by now, but the Apache flight model is much more intricate than the Gazelle flight model. Alright, around we go. The nip and tuck. Hangs it up a little bit there, that'll cost him a couple of milliseconds, but it goes through for 111.8, bounces it off the ground for good measure, but stays in the air. And that time will count, ladies and gentlemen. 111.8 to beat for everybody else. Good job, Kid. Great start. Alright, BSD Randy is taken up. One of our Italian stallions taken to the skies, guys. Randy's already finished in 3rd place in Group Alpha. So, an absolutely great day for Randy if he can chase down that win in Group C and go home with a mega amount of prizes. Okay, here we go. Another big high altitude cut here. Look how high he is and how close he is to the start gate. Needs to work this out. Goes through gate number 1 with 163 knots. The altitude costs him a little bit because he's ballooning down now. And he's going to come back up the other side with a heavy overbank to the right, but he gets it under control. Needs to start working the altitude down now. No point in staying this high. And he does a great job at that, getting the altitude down to convert all that potential energy from its altitude into forward airspeed. Alright, the turn of doom here. Can he set it up? Comes in with the early entry. Nice and close to the inside. That's beautiful. Keeps the airspeed. The airspeed didn't get slower than 106. 106 was the slowest the airspeed got there. That is 6 knots faster than Kid went through. Oh, he's fighting the SAS there. That's him fighting with the stability augmentation system of the aircraft, but he manages to come out on top. Just needs to keep that nose pointing down the way. Keep that momentum. Stop wiggling the aircraft around and get going forward. He needs to lose that altitude. We're getting a little bit too high. Let's convert that altitude into airspeed and let's get going. It's a great show by Randy so far. Nicely around gate 18. Needs to be careful on the approach here for the final one. The Kingmaker. Around we go. Sets the turn up early. Pulls in. Doesn't want to pull too hard. He's going to have to do a big unload as he goes through. But this is a good time. It's not good enough for first place. It's a 114.2. So he's about 3 seconds behind Kid. Well, Kid's setting the pace, but Randy still has one more run to go. And he can turn that frown upside down. Just like he's doing his aircraft. Tossix the P up next. Tossix representing in the, I believe it's the Indian Air Force Apache. A good looking kind of Navy style one. Looks a little bit like the Cobra. Let's see if he can rear up and hiss his way into the final. Right, through gate 1 with 156 knots. So far, so good for Tossix. Nice and controlled. Very uneventful, but that's good, guys. And it looks fast as well. Okay, takes a big high altitude cut, nice and close to the inside. Airspeed's good. 105 knots was the slowest they got there. So successfully negotiated the turn of doom. This is good for Tossix. Alright, this is it. Round the last one. It's not going to be good enough for first place, but it's going to be close. It is good enough for second place so far, guys, with a 113.3. Well done, Tossix. Alright, our final competitor for this set is Bama from the 142nd Bulldogs, taking to the skies in the US Army Apache. Alright, Bama, we don't want no drama. Let's see a good qualifying time here for you. He has 2 runs to make. This is obviously his first one. But if he gets a good run here, that sets him up great for having some good high confidence on his second run. He can maybe push it a little bit more. Representing the US of A. He is looking to send those freedom units down the course as fast as he can. Get himself in the top 3. Take home some well-earned VIRPIL swag for Christmas. Here he goes. He's very fast at this stage. This could be a good entry. 161. 161 going through gate 1. So far so good. Successfully around 2 and 3. Oh no! Obama! Obama! No! Oh, dude, that's going to play havoc with his nerves for the next round. Gate 3 bites him. And another one hits the Durst, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure he'll turn that frown upside down for the next one. He'll come back out swinging. Right, we're just getting set up for the next 4 competitors, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like it's going to be Rixke, Huey, Jano, and one other who is just getting loaded in. Taken to the skies first is going to be Huey. IRIAA Huey taken to the skies, ladies and gentlemen. Again, representing in this Cobra style Indian Air Force skin. Looks real good. He's a little bit wobbly at the top, but I'm sure that's just some nerves coming out. He'll work this out. Alright, hopefully the SAS not going to bite him in the ass. Let's see how this goes. 149, 147, 147 through gate 1. So certainly not the fastest we've seen, but so far it's nice and controlled, and that's what's more important. Precision is just as important as pace. Sometimes even more so. And so far, so good for Huey. It looks nice. It looks clean. It looks uneventful, which is good. We don't want any drama. We don't want the aircraft swirling around all over the place, wasting energy. Minimal turns, maximum airspeed. Okay, Huey's setting up for the cut here. Early overbank and then backs out of it a little bit. He's let the aircraft get really slow though. We're down to 92 knots. 92 knots as we enter the back straight. That's going to take a little bit to recoup that. Well, let's see him get his head down now and just get that aircraft going up towards its top speed. Oh, that was close to that one. He nearly checked out there around gate number 16. Needs to be careful. Aircraft's getting a little bit wobbly now. We need to just dial that out. It's all about smooth inputs. The landing gear rejects the ground and then rockets them back up into the air. And we're checking out, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no, that was just a bit of lag. Calm down, Maverick. It was just a bit of lag. We're still in it to win it. Around it goes, the penultimate gate. Threading the needle through. And bang! He is in there for a 115.8. Okay, next pilot taken to the skies is LF Jano. That was a scary lag spike there, ladies and gentlemen. I thought he was out for the count, but no, just a little bit of network desync, but we're all okay. LF Jano again representing in this Cobra style. Oh, in fact, he's actually got... It's a Cobra style United States Army skin. Look at this. This is nice. I've never actually seen this one before. This must be one of the new ones that came in with the update yesterday. Looks good. It's a chic look. I like it. Alright, let's go, Yano! Here he goes, through gate number 1, 152 knots. Uneventful through 1, 2. Uneventful through 3, looks good. A little bit overbank's going to catch him out a little bit there, but he manages to salvage that. Now we just need to start thinking smooth and methodical. Needs to be careful with that main rotor off the ground. He's getting very low. There's nothing wrong with being low, but you need to be careful with the angle of bank or you'll actually strike the rotor off the runway. And we don't want that, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, helicopters require 100% of the main rotor to come along for the ride, so we don't want to leave any bits behind us on the runway. Sets up nicely for the turn of doom. Looks like it was going to take a really high altitude cut and then sort of backed out of that bit a little bit. We got down to 94 knots, 94 knots, bounces the undercarriage off the ground for added effect. We're getting a little bit behind now as that flap back just works its way around the main rotor disc and he manages to get that under control. Alright, he's climbed up quite high, guys. Look at his altitude here. That's not good. To get to that altitude, he has to trade airspeed to do that. We don't want to do that. We want to keep the aircraft as low as we possibly can, guys, so that all the energy is going forward and not up. He has brought the aircraft back down again. Let's see if we can maneuver around the final corner here. The Kingmaker. This is where legends are made, ladies and gentlemen. Around we go. Takes it very high. That is going to cost him a little bit. He leaves his nose hanging up there as he threads it through. Barely making it. A 116.5. It's good, but it's not good enough for top 3. Next up is going to be Rixky taken to the skies. Rixky with an interesting approach. She's selected to depart controlled flight. And yeah, this is a new tactic, guys. Johnny New Tactics here. This is what we call Rixky. We call him Johnny New Tactics. He's managed to work that out. And I'm sure the moment of sheer terror has passed him. He's regained composure. 142 knots through gate number 1. Approaching the penultimate gate before the turn of doom. Here we go. Takes the right hand cut. Turns in nice and early but not too early. Gets close but not too close. Gets high but not too high. Oh, this is going to be close on the ground. Oh, just saved. Well done, dude. Keeps the airspeed above 100 knots. 101 knots was the slowest we've seen Rixky get there. It's a good entry onto the back straight. Rixky getting very low. He's keeping it low, he's keeping it pro. Round he goes, turn 17, 96.2. Can still be in with a good chance of setting a decent time here and finding himself in the top 3. Just needs to nail the last corner. Here we go. Oh, it's going to be close. Watch that main roar. Watch that main roar. Oh, he does it. He does it just. It's going to be a 118.3. Sadly, it is not good enough at this time for the top 3. Alright guys, once again with the questions for you guys to win some prizes. Question number 1. What runway numbers are in the VIRPIL Control factory? Question number 2. What was the helicopter model in the first Matrix? Question number 3. What is the heaviest payload weight helicopter in the world? Number 4. Which of the listed helicopters is of the Synchropter type? I hate that word. Number 5. Why would a helicopter fly whilst hoisting a circular saw? And finally, number 6. We've been giving you some secret numbers on the screen. If you add all those numbers up, which runway corresponds to the runway length at which airport of all those numbers? So the secret numbers that we've given you on stream, add them up. What do those numbers correspond to in terms of runway length from the airports listed below? Alright folks, while we're getting our leaders out for the second run, we'll just quickly talk again about the prizes. So VIRPIL Controls coming with over €8,000 worth of prizes. We've had 3 separate groups. Every group is entitled to these prizes. So if you finish top in first place in one group, you win a VPC Mongoose T50 grip, the Mongoose T50 base, the VPC Rotor TCS base, a KA50 collective grip or a Hawk 60 collective grip, as well as the VIRPIL Ace torque pedals. All that going to first place. Second place picks up the Mongoose T50 CM2 grip, the Mongoose CM3 base, the VPC Rotor TCS base, and the Shark 50 collective grip or the Hawk 60 collective grip. The VPC Rotor TCS base will go to third place, as well as the Shark KA50 collective grip or the Hawk 60 collective grip. And each of the finalists, guys, from each group, so all 3 groups, all contestants will get a free module from our sponsor Eagle Dynamics as well. So some big prizes coming out for the contestants today. Win, lose or draw, they all go home with something. Python 1-1 taken to the skies again. This is our group leader, ladies and gentlemen. It is the man, the myth, the legend from South Korea. He is currently in first place. Is he going to get to go home in first place? It is yet to be seen. Will it be Squid Game for Kid? Or will it be the juicy VIRPIL prizes? He's tipping in from altitude. Let's see if he has the skills to pay those bills. Okay, through gate 1 with 167 knots. Round 2. Round 3 in the place to be. He's knocking on the door for gate number 4. He's feeling alive coming up to gate number 5. Needles and sticks around gate number 6. This is good, this is good. He is slightly up on his personal best time by 1 millisecond. Oh, he's slightly down now. It's a roller coaster of emotions, and we're slightly back up again. Excellent flying from Kid here. If he doesn't collide with anything, it looks like he's going to improve on his personal best. Look how low he keeps the aircraft, guys. This is really good flight discipline here. He's not allowing the aircraft to balloon up unnecessarily and waste his airspeed. Here he goes with a cut. Sets it up. Rolls in, gets nice and tight on that inside pylon, stamps on that left pedal to get that nose moving, and through he goes onto the back side, onto the back straight. He's a little bit down on his personal best, but he can pull that back. Again, keeping the aircraft nice and low, wheels literally skimming off the ground. Cutting the grass with the main rotor blade here. This is great flying by Kid. This is what we like to see. Seat of the pants. This is good stuff. This is great stuff. 1 turn left. Here we go, Kid. Let's get it done, brother. Swings it in nice and early, doesn't pull too tight, maintains that high indicated airspeed, threads the needle, and through he goes. He doesn't better his time. It is slower than his first time, but it is still very fast. A 112.4. He's still in first place, ladies and gentlemen, and if no one can go faster, Kid's going home with all the goodies for first place. Next up is going to be BSD Randy. Okay, Randy taking a big offset to the right. This is going to be a little bit of a struggle to get this straightened up. But does a good job. Goes through the first gate with 162 knots. Instantly gets real low. Drops it down to the floor. Overbank to the right, going around 3. Salvages it well for 4, but finds himself out of sync. Needs to work hard to get back on track here, get back on program. Does a fantastic job at righting those wrongs and gets straight back on track. Now we're heading for the smooth, methodical slaloms as we head down towards the turn of doom. Alright, good check out to the right. Banks in very early to the left. Takes it wide though. This might cost him a little bit. Up he goes. Maintains 103 knots at the slowest point and then down for some good acceleration on the back straight. It's a great entry by Randy. Now he just needs to get that aircraft moving. Fighting the SAS, that's what the wobble is. He's him and the stability augmentation system on the aircraft just having a little bit of a disagreement. Needs to watch that rotor off the ground. Threads the needle through gate 15 without too much drama. He is getting a little bit too high. He needs to stop climbing. The more he climbs, the slower he goes. He needs to get that nose back down again. Doing well at dropping that altitude and on the run in towards the final turn. This is good by Randy. Nice and tight. Alright, one more turn. Bounces the landing gear off the ground. Takes a big wide cut. Starts the turn early. Doesn't want to pull too hard here. And he's done okay there. That's an okay job. Coming it round. Thread the needle and in. For a 114.3. That is good enough for 5th place. Okay, it should be Tossix the P up next, ladies and gentlemen. Tossix the P takes to the skies. Tossix with a high altitude entry at 2,000 feet. Nose down, let's get downhill, my man, that's it. Possibly a little bit scary now, but he's okay. It's a little wobbly, watch out for that pylon, brother, he's done it. He's just about scraped in, we are off. Away we go. Tossix is up on his personal best for this round, so if he can just keep it together, doesn't want to balloon the aircraft too much, wants to try and keep the aircraft as low as possible. We've seen Kid do an absolutely great job at keeping the aircraft low. Tossix needs to do the same thing and try and not allow the aircraft to balloon up and down too much and cost him that indicated airspeed. Setting up for the turn of doom with the right cut, over banks to the left, gets in nice and close to the inside pylon. The slowest we get is 108 knots. This is great flying by Tossix. So far, so good. He is up on his personal best time by 0.2 of a second. Continuing towards the end of the course here, it's looked neat and tidy and uneventful. It usually means it's going to be quite fast. Right, come on Tossix, just one more turn to go, my friend. Let's get it done. That's good enough for top 3 from Tossix so far. A 112.9, ladies and gentlemen. Takes 3rd place. That could be a great run for Tossix if he can hold on to that 3rd place, ladies and gentlemen. And he's going to be going home with some great VIRPIL goodies if that's the case. Next up is our man Bama from the 142nd Bulldogs. Unfortunately, we've seen some drama from Bama in the last one. It had us saying Obama. We don't want any Obamas this time, guys. We want a no drama llama run from Bama. Let's see what you got, sir. Let's get out there and turn that frown upside down. Okay, Bama with the high altitude cut. He's heading downhill, airspeed is building. We're going through gate number 1 with 155 knots. Easy left. Easy right. So far so good from Bama. Background gate number 4. He is down on his personal best. Just needs to keep flowing though. Keep flowing. He's already further down the course than he got the last time, so things are looking good. Stay calm. Keep the aircraft nice and smooth. This is great flying. Look how smoothly he's making these turns. This is beautiful so far from Bama. We like this. Right, looking good. So far so good. Turn of doom coming up. Round it goes. Good high altitude cut. Gets in nice and close. Gets that nose moving down again. That's a beautiful way to start in the back straight. Fantastic flying by this guy. He's going to be disappointed with himself because he crashed in the first round, but he can hold his head up high for the flying that he's done in this second round. This has been very, very good. It is looking like it's going to be potential top 3 material as well if he can just hold on. Getting the aircraft, he's allowing the aircraft to climb a little bit too much. Every foot he climbs, he is losing airspeed. He needs to keep the nose down and stop that aircraft from climbing up the way. Takes a big cut to the right for the final turn. The Kingmaker, where legends are made and broken. Here we go. Swings it in. Nice and stable. Around it goes. It's a 113.9. That is good enough for top 5. Sadly not breaking into top 3, but great flying by Bama. That was enjoyable. Okay, just getting our last contestants in now. The clock is ticking, ladies and gentlemen. The pressure's on these guys. Kid is the man to beat. Can our last contenders do it? Huey takes to the skies to try. I want to give a shout out to the VIRPIL cameraman, doing a great job again today. Brought some great footage last weekend. The footage today has been absolutely breathtaking. Well done to the VIRPIL cameraman. Alright, Huey setting himself up for the run. Around we go. 142 through the first gate. Huey getting a little bit scrappy through the first couple of gates, but manages to salvage it. This looks nice and fast and low. Look how quickly this looks. Needs to be careful with the angle of bank though to keep that main rotor off the ground. Okay, sets up the cut. Here we go, the turn of doom. Pretty aggressive bank into there. Loses a lot of speed, down to 94 knots. Just pulled back on the cyclic a little bit too much, I think. But a little bit too aggressive with it. Works it out. He does the salmon heading back onto the back straight there. Tails waggling all over the place, but good recovery here from Huey. This looks like he could have some good pace heading down towards the end. Yeah, it looks good, it looks strong. Let's see if we can feed it through. A 114.0. So it's not actually as fast as it looked. It's good enough for the top 6. But yeah, I think he's... I felt like that looked like a really fast run. It was a nice clean run. Great flying. Alright, LF Jano taken to the skies now for his second run. Yano with a big altitude cut here. Alright, heading downhill towards 160 knots. Goes through gate 1 with 157. 157 across gate 1. Aggressive with the overbank through 3, but nice recovery for 4. Now just needs to work on smoothing it out as we head down towards the easier part of the slalom. Setting up the right cut for the turn of doom. Here we go. Comes in with the altitude. Nice overbank going around. Nice, that's very tidy. Very tidy through there. Oh, just touches the left main gear onto the tarmac there, but it doesn't do him any harm. That's a little wobbly, but he'll work that out, guys. He'll work it out. Nice recovery. A little wobbly again. Okay, one more corner to go. Let's see it, Yano. Let's go, Yano! Slings it in. Doesn't pull too hard on the side click, that is good. It's a bit more than that though. And around he goes, just about touches the tail rotor almost. That's a good recovery for a 114.9. All right, our friend Rexky coming up next. Right, Rexky taking a decent altitude cut. We're up at 2,200 feet as he heads down. So he's going to tip it in from here. Alright, Rexky heads through with 150 through the start gate. Looks good and controlled. So far so good. He is up on his personal best, although he's got a little bit out of shape there though. This is going to be a little bit squirrely for him, but he's doing well to recover. Still up on the personal best. Little bit, yeah, maybe kind of out of shape here a little bit, but still very much recoverable. The airspeed's a little slow, it got down to 98 here, but it's a good entry onto the back straight. Needs to get that nose down and get moving as fast as he can now. He is still up on his personal best by over half a second, so there definitely is room for improvement for Rexky here. Hands and feet working overtime as he only has a couple more corners left to negotiate. Hopefully he can take himself some VIRPIL goodies. Pops it in for the very last time, guys. Here we go. It's not too fast but not too slow. And around he goes, a 117.9, unfortunately not top 3, but a new personal best for this finals for him, and I'm sure we'll see him again next year. Well flown, sir. Alright guys, the entries for the stream questions are now closed, so we're going to go through the answers for the stream questions that we were given to you guys during the show. Alright, so what were the runway numbers at the VIRPIL Controls factory? The answer was 09 and 27, runway 09 and runway 27. Second question was, what was the helicopter model in the first Matrix? Some of you guys might remember that. The answer was the Bell 212. Question number 3 was, what is the heaviest payload weight helicopter in the world? And the answer is the MIL V12, which weighed 105 tons. It could accelerate up to 260 kilometers an hour and lifted a loaded weight of 44.2 tons to a height of 2,250 meters. Wow, didn't know that. All right, the next question was, which of the listed helicopters is of the Syncropter type? Can never get that word right. And the answer was the 282 Colibri. Question number 5 was, why would a helicopter fly whilst hoisting a circular saw? And all you lumberjacks out there would have got this one straight away. The answer is to cut the clearings of power lines. So it basically cuts any trees that are getting too close to the power lines, keeps them back. All right, question number 6 was, what airport corresponds to the runway length according to a summary of the numbers appearing in the stream? So we showed you some hidden numbers throughout the stream. If you added up all those numbers, it would have given you a total of 2,286, which corresponds to Melbourne Airport, way down there in Australia. Okay, so I have the first 6 winners to announce. Alright, so in first place, picking up €250, congratulations to Mr. Larson. I believe it is Tinny Ringren Larson. I apologise if I mispronounced your name, my friend. In second place, scooping €150, is Damien Bonev. Congratulations, Damien. Third place goes home with €50, and that is Mr. Paco. Congratulations, Paco. In fourth place with €25 is Vladimir Kaniga. Congratulations, Vladimir. Fifth place for €25 is Mike Ely. Congratulations, Mike. And in sixth place with €25 is some buster called Jake. Congratulations, Jake. Congratulations to everybody, guys. Enjoy your cash prize. I hope you get something nice with it. Alright guys, we are joined by our top 3 champions. Joining us today are Mr. Kid, the man, the myth, the legend, Bama, and Tossix. Congratulations guys, you are our top 3 winners for Group Charlie. All of you flown very well. Kid, just a little bit too hard to beat for everybody else today and set the pace. I hope you enjoyed it, Kid. What did you find was the hardest part of the course?
To me, hardest part of the course was the first 3 tower, because it was so difficult to keep the speed because it was a little bit narrow between them compared to the other towers. So to me, it was the most difficult part of the race.
Great flying by you in the whole competition, brother. Did you notice any big difference from flying the Apache today after the update came out yesterday? Did the aircraft feel different?
Yeah, I feel a little bit different, especially when I push forward. When I push forward my stick, and it feels like I could push more, but it was not used to, so it was a little bit difficult for me as well.
Nice. So some great skill shown by you, brother, in a very, very fast time. We had Tossix the P came in second place. He was 1.1 seconds behind first place. Tossix, some great flying all day today, sir. Some great flying last weekend as well, my friend. Not enough to take first place, but you still go home in second place with some really good prizes. I hope you enjoyed the event, sir. What did you find the hardest part of the track?
Yeah, I think the hardest part was to find the right reference points in order to get the right consistency and making the 180 in the right place, you know. because pushing forward is difficult, and yeah, then turning is the most difficult one.
I agree, yeah. I have actually, I've not done as much practice as you guys, but I have had a little shot on the course, and that 180-degree turn is much more difficult than it looks on stream, especially in the Apache. Did you notice much difference from the updates that came out yesterday, Tossix? Did you notice that the aircraft felt a little bit different today?
To be honest, it was not so difficult. Just a little bit practice more, and then yeah, it was going in the right way.
Perfect. All right, brother. Enjoy your presents, and I hope you have a great Christmas. My good friend Bama came in third. Congratulations, Bama. You surprised us with some drama. It was a little bit scary at some point, sir, but you managed to pull out a great result and coming in third place. I hope you enjoyed the event. What did you think was the most difficult part of the course?
Like everybody else, I think the both 180s, a lot of time can be made and lost in those two gates. Sure.
Yeah, we called them the turn of doom on stream and the kingmaker at the end. Like you said, a lot of time could be made. Legends were made or destroyed on that last turn. Did you notice much of a difference between the flight models changing?
I feel like it's a little more stable and possibly faster than it was. I made the mistake of not practicing yesterday, so took a little getting used to today, but overall it felt more stable to me, even though my first lap didn't show that, but
Nice.
I think good changes.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. I flew the Apache earlier on today, not on the air race, but just generally online, and I thought it felt a lot more stable as well. So I'm glad that you echoed those sentiments. But yeah, a good solid place today, Bama. Nice to see those prizes go to some good people. You guys obviously worked hard and showed some really good flying skill today and last week, guys. And we're all looking forward to having you back with us next year. Enjoy your VIRPIL presents, my friends, and have a great Christmas and a good New Year.
Yeah, man, you too.
Looking forward to the event.
Kid, toss it.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, kid.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Awesome, guys. What a great group of champions that we had there from Group Charlie. Really great bunch of guys from all the groups, really. Group A, B, and C. Really good to see some high-skilled pilots getting to take home some juicy prizes. Alright, all that's left for me to do, guys, is pass on my thanks from the VPC, the VIRPIL Controls team. All thank you so much for being here to celebrate this event, to remember our good friend Shadow, who the trophy is named after, sadly passed away just over a year ago, but he'll never be forgotten. Obviously his memory will be kept alive by his friends and his families and those that flew with him, but we like to think that having this trophy just goes a little bit more to cementing his memory into the DCS community, so that we never forget our dear friend who unfortunately we lost far too soon. Thank you so much to our additional sponsors as well, Eagle Dynamics, also to the Smile Pilots Club, who done such a great job at supporting the trophy as well. Thanks to everybody at Team VIRPIL for helping with the camera work and setting up the event. And to you guys watching at home, thank you so much for taking part in the stream competition and also supporting the channel with your likes and your subscribes. We look forward to seeing you next year. Until we do, have a great Christmas and a great New Year, my friends. Top Gun and volleyball, ladies and gentlemen. I am not Scott Manley. Fly safe.